I know drum and bass, hip hop MC, skill lyricist, all the above.
Hell yeah, man. We feel that, man. So, at what age did you start getting into hip hop music exactly?
I would say I grew up, believe it or not, I listened to a lot of like Motown and soul when I was a young kid. I pretty much listened to whatever my parents put me on to. And I actually wasn't allowed to listen to hip hop when I was a kid, so I started getting into a lot of like 90s alternative, and I'll say around 12 years old was when I heard 36 Chambers, and then it was a rap from there.
Hell yeah, man. Definitely it's classic. Starting off with the oldies, you gotta respect, the ones that laid it down before you.
Definitely.
So, who would you say were some of your main inspirations within the hip hop genre, or just any genre in general?
As far as hip hop is concerned, obviously Wu-Tang Clan, Gangstar, Zach De La Rocha from Rage Against the Machine was a huge influence on me. Black Star, all the Rockets cats, all the boot camp, classic boom bap 90s shit. Bob Marley was actually a humongous inspiration to me. Capo Town, Buju Banton, a lot of different artists. As far as hip hop though, mainly I would say Wu-Tang, Gangstar, Black Star, probably like the foundation for it, and the roots, probably for my style.
Absolutely, man. And you can tell that when we listen to Elijah Divine piece of work, within your music, that classic East Coast sound of underground hip hop. But we'll get into this a little bit later because I know you do a little bit of EDM music as well, like on your album Spliff Notes a bit.
Yeah, on Spliff Notes and on Divine Intervention, there's a couple there's Sold Out, which is a drum and bass tune, and then there's a Rollout remix, dubstep track, and then on Spliff Notes is all that's all over the place. But I actually just dropped a EP, a remix EP with Ryan Noisy drums and the Carolinas, which is all just different styles of drum and bass. Some's real amen heavy, some's just real clubby kind of shit. But oh, pardon me. But
it's all good.
What I try to do, man, I don't ever try to get typecasted into, I like to represent drum and bass as much as hip-hop as much as jungle, blah, blah, blah. So whatever I do, I try to make a project stretch out into all fields. So say, for instance, if I'm coming out with a hip-hop album, I already have it set in my head that, all right, there's going to be jungle remixes of this. I already start mapping out who will be perfect for each sound, and then that way I can represent on each sound equally, so then that way I don't ever just fit into a jungle MC category or, a backpack boom bap category or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, man. So you stick out from the rest of the MCs.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So, man, did you grow up in Worcester, right?
I grew up in Worcester. I lived here until I was about, say, like 19, and I moved to Greenfield for a couple months, and then I moved to Kauai, Hawaii for a couple years, and I moved to Vermont for a couple years. And now I just go back and forth. Right now I'm in Worcester. For the past like 5 years or so, I went back and forth between Hartford and Worcester. But yeah, I was born and raised out here. Nothing else.
So, if you mind me asking, what was with all the movement? Was that anything music related?
Well, Hawaii, I was a different kid back in the day, man. I was kind of a punk. And that was kind of to just kind of find myself, not to sound corny or whatever, but more or less to get to the center of who I really was, and in the process, a couple of the kids that I came up with, my brother Sonny, my brother Matt, they were the ones that put me on the jungle bass, and we used to always had a dream of playing jungle in the jungle. But I was always like doing was to get out there and start setting up outlaws and all this other stuff, kind of out in the middle of the jungle, set up turntables with a generator. But actually, I didn't even really, I was just kind of a freestyle artist. I would skate when I got down with my homies. And I was actually the DJ. When I first started out, I was the DJ for Tom Brown. I'm not sure if you ever heard of him. He's a real dope MC from New England. He's like my protege. But when I used to DJ for him, and I used to do house parties out here from my dudes, Chris and Rock. And, I started out as a DJ, and then slowly, I don't even know really how it happened, man. I just started writing in Hawaii, and then over time, it kind of it grew into what it is now. But now I put a lot of my progression as an artist into crediting Hawaii.
Definitely.
On my own sound. The other part is when you're out there, you don't really hear what's going on over here. Like, say for instance, if you hear a tune out here, it'll get played out within 2 weeks. But over there, as a tune that's played out to them is brand new in like 4 months. You know, in certain places.
Wow.
And so I didn't really have, it wasn't like, I couldn't get influenced by anybody else. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, nobody could really rub off on me because I wasn't really listening to anything new whatsoever. So that's probably why you hear all the boom bap and everything in my own. Like you see, you can tell I listen to those acts. It's funny because I'm still listening to them, and it really helped shape me as an artist over there. I mean, you could do a whole interview just on shows in Hawaii in general.
I believe it, man. It sounds like it. So it seems like Hawaii, you really found yourself as an MC, and exactly what drove you to do hip-hop music.
Well, basically, more or less a form of expression. Like, I didn't ever think, and I say this as humbly as I possibly can with as much humility, I never thought I'd be this dope. I never thought I would be this good. I never thought people would be telling me, you know, all kinds of crazy compliments about my style and my delivery and everything like that. I just wanted to express myself, you know, and it was more or less, honestly, to impress Tom. I wanted to step it up and impress Tom, and over time I found, you know, that it was a great way to get out my feelings without any sort of, you know, aggression or violence or anything like that. I could actually just vent it out through the tunes. And then, you know, I grew up on music, and I've always loved music, so it kind of just started to click, and, you know, it really, it started to work out well. Credit Hawaii with a lot of my my like personal development, but as far as like getting put on, people really looking out for me and believing in me, I would put a lot of that into Hartford, Connecticut. Caffeine Dirty, Miss Isis, and my boy Torrential really helped like build my buzz and really helped mold me as an MC.
Nah, that's dope, man. You know, much props, you know, for everyone out there helping out and supporting. But my next question goes into actually more the local hip-hop scene as well. How was the Central Mass Worcester hip-hop scene while you were coming up, making music, or even after you've been established with hip-hop music?
I mean, this is like pre-MySpace and pre-Facebook and pre-Twitter and Instagram and all that. And back then, like, everybody wasn't a rapper. Like, now, everybody wants to MC. Everybody, it's like hip-hop's so influential now that everybody thinks they can spit bars or whatever. But when I was coming up, man, there was only a couple groups out here that were, I mean, Larry Cheever was out here, Foster was out here. They were making a lot of noise, and they're really, I mean, it could have just been, it could have just gone right over my head or whatever, but there really wasn't much going on out here before I bounced.
Wow.
Maybe 4 or 5 years, Worcester has come out with a lot of dope artists.
No, that's nice, man. And I could definitely see that a lot more hip-hop artists trying to make way into the scene in Massachusetts. And what would you say are some of the high points in the Central Mass hip-hop scene and some of the low points, like pros and cons that you would say? Well, like stuff that you would see when you're out performing from other cats.
Well, I mean, we could do a whole interview on that too, brother. More or less, I'll start with the cons, as whack as that is, but it seems easier for me. I mean, support. Support is really one of the main things for the people out here. So a lot of times you'll go to a gig or you'll go to an event, and a majority of the attendance is the other artists that are performing, or the DJs, or the homie's girlfriend, or somebody that is somehow linked in through that circle, and not so much as just an onlooker or somebody that wants to
look for new music.
And a lot of things too is like it's such a small, well, it's a larger community now, but it is in a sense, you know, it's a small degree of separation. A lot of times you'll have it where politics get involved, and people that should be working together don't end up working together because, you know, say A wants to work with B, but he's homies with C, and C got a huge problem with B, so now he can't make tunes with him, and they shouldn't be, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean, man.
So it takes a lot of the room out for people to create, but on the pros out here, I mean, like I said, in the past like 4 or 5 years, there's been a lot of artists that put in a lot of work and came up. And, you know, if on one level there's a lack of support, and on the other level there's a lot of support. There's a rep shop movement out in Boston and Peabody and Quincy and all surrounding Boston areas. They all, you know, they go hard.